Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this, our fifth episode in the series Histories of Hymns, Stories of Songs. Today, we're actually going to look at our first contemporary song, and it's the song Untitled Hymn, also known as Come to Jesus, written by Chris Rice. And this is one of my favorite contemporary Christian songs to sing, and every time I sing it or hear it, it really helps me stay in the moment of worship. I mean, the melody is easy to listen to, predictable but not at all boring, just beautifully lyrical. The words also are very simple and easily accessible, but also captivating and inspirational. It describes the Christian journey in its kind of simplest form. When we are lost in our sin, all we need to do is come to Jesus. Sometimes in our Christian journey we might fall, so fall on Jesus. If we're lonely or sad, cry to Jesus. When we feel overwhelming joy, sing and dance for Jesus. And then when it's time for us to die, our souls fly to Jesus. It's this last verse that makes this song very popular at funerals, the image of the immortal soul flying heavenward to be with Jesus. And the entire song put together is just very beautiful and very pleasant to listen to. So let's look a little bit at the song's composer, Chris Rice. Chris Rice was born in a hospital just a few blocks away from the White House in Washington, D.C. And he grew up in Clinton, Maryland, a suburb of D.C. He was the second of four brothers. They were all sons of bookshop owners. Now, he had trouble narrowing down a career goal as a young man, but he did write some songs as a teenager in his church and to sing with youth group friends, and he was often asked to sing them for various groups. As a young man in the mid-1980s, Chris took some time off from college to see if his music career would pan out, so he moved to the most logical place to try and kickstart a music career in Nashville, Tennessee. He began touring around the country to various youth camps and college retreats. His roommate in Nashville was an aspiring record producer and suggested that he record some of Chris's songs. Chris took that indie CD wherever he toured, and some of these songs were recorded by prominent Christian artists of the day, such as Amy Grant and Michael W. Smith. And the most well-known song he wrote during this time was likely the Christmas song Welcome to Our World, which has a very well-known recording by Michael W. Smith. And during this time, Smith started a brand new record label named Rocketown Records, and in 1996, Smith offered Chris Rice a deal to be Rocketown's first recording artist, to which Chris said yes. Rice's singing and songwriting career took off from there. His hits such as Deep Enough to Dream and Untitled Hymn, which we're looking at today, cemented him as a household name, and he won the Dove Award, which are the big Christian music accolades handed out every year, for Male Vocalist of the Year in 1999. Now, the exact story of how Untitled Hymn came to be doesn't seem to be public information. At least I couldn't find any specific information on it. One possible reason for that, which I did find out, is that Chris Rice is a self-proclaimed introvert and does not often make himself available for interviews, and thus much of his life remains private. So we can only speculate as to what kind of process he went through, what kind of inspiration the Holy Spirit gave him to write this very beautiful song. As an introvert, the public life of singing on stage around the country took its toll on Chris Rice, and in 2007, he decided to take a break from the public spotlight. As he describes in his biography on his website, all of that attention and energy of who I am was being spent on thousands of strangers who are great people and awesome and worthy, but I could not keep up with all of that. I was sacrificing my friendships and family and neighborhood and not being a good friend, brother, son, because of all the attention required by all these other people. I had to find a healthy way to say no. During this break from songwriting and touring, in addition to being passionate about rock climbing and nature in general, Rice has expanded his career to include painting and photography. His paintings are often centered around nature and still lifes, And this part of his career has also been fruitful, with his paintings selling out very quickly, allowing Chris to express his love of God's creation in multiple ways. As he also says in his bio, "Mine is a life inspired by the beauty and color of nature, the contemplation of God, and the humor tucked into small, everyday moments. Driven to communicate all of this through creative means, I am overwhelmed by the privilege and happy to find my work reaching so many people in meaningful ways." Just last year, Chris did return to music after a 12-year-long hiatus, releasing a new album entitled Untitled Hymn, a collection of hymns, featuring covers of classic hymns such as Amazing Grace, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, and When I Survey the Wondrous Cross.
Weak and wounded sinner, lost and left to die. Oh, raise your head, for love is passing by. Come to Jesus, come to Jesus, come to Jesus and live. Now your burdens lifted and carried far away, and precious blood has washed away the stain. So sing to Jesus, sing to Jesus, sing to Jesus and live. Like a newborn baby, don't be afraid to crawl. Remember when you walk, sometimes you fall. So fall on Jesus, fall on Jesus, fall on Jesus and live. Sometimes the way is lonely and steep and filled with pain. So if your sky is dark and pours like rain, then cry to Jesus, cry to Jesus, cry to Jesus and live. Oh, and when the love spills over and music fills the night, and when you can't contain your joy inside, then dance for Jesus, dance for Jesus, dance for Jesus and live. And with your final heartbeat, kiss the world goodbye. Then go in peace and laugh on glory's side, and fly to Jesus, fly to Jesus, fly to Jesus and live. Fly to Jesus, fly to Jesus,
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment. Remember, you can request your own hymn or song in the comments below. And thank you again. God bless.